Fifth dimensional perspective. Now, because the times are changing, there is much of awareness that is going to be needed in the next few years of knowing that your belief system really does alter that which you find yourself experiencing. Allow yourself to live in fifth dimensional innocence often, the place of taking a deep breath, the place of peace that knows that always you are taken care of. There is nothing and no one who can challenge you or make you have an experience that you cannot call good. I know that there are many in the world who will challenge this statement, because there is much that is going on in the world that does not look to be good. You have from time to time on the world stage occurrences which are called disasters, and the word disaster is really indicative. Truly, it means that which comes from the stars. Dis-aster, something that you long time ago, as you would see yourself to be the ancestors, thought that if any so-called tragedy happened, it was from the gods in the heavens. The stars sent there down for you to have an experience called a disaster from the stars. But truly, you manifest everything that you experience, and if you call it a disaster, stop for a moment and realize you are from the stars as well. Truly, many of you have said that Mother Earth is not your home. It is not your home planet, but you did help and are helping as co-creators to sustain Gaia, Mother Earth, for the time being to fulfill a purpose of many incarnations and many evolutionary changes. But you are from the stars yourself, and so in truth, you are a disaster in the best way. All of you as small children had the feeling and said to your parents at one time or another, "Where's home?" Your mother, father said, "Well, it's right here." And you said, "No, this is not home." And because they did not want to deal with the feelings which would bring up, they said, "Oh, that's rubbish. You are home. Forget that." They also knew the feeling of being displaced, but they did not know how to deal with it, so they therefore deny it. All of you have felt different, not at home, but you have volunteered to be here to help with bringing in the consciousness of fifth dimension, bringing in the consciousness of peace and innocence. And when you live in that consciousness of peace and innocence, it leads to a most wonderful gift known as joy, joy that the world does not know. You at the soul level have already chosen what you term your future. Now some of the details of it have been left to your choosing. But at the soul level, you have set certain parameters and goals that you want to do and will do in this lifetime. The details are up to you, but the overall plan, your soul's plan, you set for yourself before the incarnation. And you will accomplish it, so you might as well sit back and relax and enjoy it. Separated ego says, "Oh, but I have a plan. I have to know where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do. I have to know all the details because something might be lurking in my future that I don't want to be there, and I have to be prepared to deal with it." We have spoken to you in previous times of being the beholder, taking a deep breath and standing back from whatever is going on and just watching the interplay of all the circumstance, all the options and people involved. Fifth dimensional perspective goes one degree further than that. Fifth dimensional perspective calls it all good and says, "I don't have to do it. You have a saying in your holy scriptures attributed to me that I of myself do nothing," and that is true. You of the small self, the separated ego, you can do a whole lot of running around, scurrying here and there, reading all the books, quoting all the masters and worrying. But the true self of you already knows fifth dimensional perspective, where you already are in sync with your soul's plan. And that is the plan that you are going to live. I have seen you wrestling with decisions and wondering what you should do and trying out various options. How does that feel? How does that feel? Should I do this one? Should I do that? You spend a lot of energy worrying, but I've also seen you take a deep breath and say, "Oh, what the heck? I'm living the now moment. And right now nobody is threatening me, and right now I'm okay. I think I'll stay here right now for another now moment." If you keep on doing that, guess what happens? You keep living in the now moment of being okay and being taken care of, being guided to make the decisions that fit the soul's plan. Do not turn yourself upside down trying to figure out what is the best solution. Before any incarnation, you put together a plan that is going to bring about the best for you, for the brothers and sisters with whom you are going to be interacting. You set up appointments with other ones that you will meet with them at a certain time in this lifetime, and that you will work together with them on certain projects. Before the incarnation, you set up a general plan of how you are going to heal yourself. In other words, remember your wholeness and how you are going to heal others by your interaction with them. It may be sometimes with a bit of challenge and require tough love, which does not always feel as the easiest way. But it is what you agreed to do and will do, and you need never be in turmoil with yourself. When the world is too much with you, and I know how the world will clamor, how the disasters are reported to you, and how you feel that everything out there and everything in your own immediate vicinity is looking like it could be really bad. And you feel the world is screaming at you, take yourself, if it's possible, physically out into nature and be one with the process of life itself, with the trees, the bushes, the grass, the flowers, and see how they do not worry. Am I going to have enough rain, enough sunlight? They only know the life process. A tree does not know death. A tree does not worry about death. A tree knows only to live. If someone comes along and cuts down that tree, the tree does not agonize over what has happened. The life force is still in the wood, as my father Joseph has reminded you. The life force is still in the wood no matter how it is fashioned or how it is used. Even if it is used as kindling for the fireplace and is burned, it turns into the energy that truly life force is. Nothing is ever lost, and so the tree does not worry about being lost because the possibility is never in its computer program. Now, humankind loves to make complexity because you are creative. So you create and you ask, what can I create that is unlike the truth of my being? And you are very good at creating all kinds of experience. Separated ego then says, see, here is the evidence. The world is not a safe place to be. The world is a place where you have to struggle, but that is separated ego. When you allow the deep breath and you go to a place of fifth dimensional peace and innocence, you look upon what has been happening, and you see how it serves the bigger picture. What I call the at-one-ment, the realization of oneness, the realization of how divine and how creative you are. If and when you can allow yourself to be in that space and to say, wow, I am really creative, look at this mess I've made. And then you have made it. In other words, you have graduated to the place where you can congratulate yourself on your creativity and call that good. That is fifth dimensional perspective. It is where I would abide as often as possible. When the world would be too much for me, I took myself apart to pray. I took myself physically into nature, and always, if it is not possible to do this physically, you can do it on the emotional level of taking a deep breath. Even if you are surrounded by all the chaos around you, all the quarreling co-workers, all the world that seems to be judging itself and finding itself to be wrong emotionally, you can withdraw from that and take yourself apart from it. You take the deep breath, you put the smile on the face, and know that you are always taken care of. You need not worry about the golden coins. Always you will have enough golden coins. You have proved that to yourself already in this lifetime. Sometimes you have come to a place where you have not 2 gold coins to rub together, and you've wondered, oh gosh, what's going to happen? And then someone comes along, and they may not give you golden coins, but they give you a loaf of bread, so that you do not even have to go through the process of going to the store and buying the bread. Someone did all that for you and gave you the loaf. Then you may be tempted to say, oh, that's great for now, but where's my next meal coming from? That is separated ego, not living in fifth dimension, which starts to worry about the future. Live in the now. Look around you to see what you have in the now. Right now you have raiment. You have food, you have friends, perhaps near, perhaps far. You have work that you like to do or not. If you do not like your work, who says you have to stay with it? You can change it. The wonderful part about being creative is that you can morph, you can change. You can even change the circumstance around you. If you are not happy with the circumstance around you, start envisioning. What would I like the circumstance to be? How would it feel? You are going to morph. You are going to change. The world is going to change. The world is in a place now where it has come against the brick wall, where choices have to be made. Some of those changes are going to be seen at first to be threatening. Trust. Breathe peace. Know that truly you are always guided. You have touched the place of fifth dimension. You know what it feels like, even if it is a bit tenuous, even if it just came for a moment or so when you felt a peace that you had not known before. And with a moment of recognizing it and feeling it, then it was gone because you were not accustomed to that peace. But if you have once felt it, and you have, you can feel it again, and you can bring it back. All is energy, as we have spoken many times. And if you will live in the energy of joy and trust, others will pick it up from you. You mean that's contagious too? Oh yes, it is. Not just the negative things that are contagious. Joy, laughter, lightheartedness in the face of confusion are contagious. And it feels really, really good to let all the worries of the separated ego be forgotten and left behind for a while. You can always go back and pick up the worries if you want to, but having left them behind for a while, and having lived in the place of joy and trust and knowing that you are guided, you are not going to want to go back and pick up all the worries of separated ego. even if the separated ego says to you that you are responsible for doing such and such. So whenever you see what is called a disaster, whenever you see the world seemingly going through trials and tribulations, count it all as good and say, yes, I agree to that. You may be wide-eyed about it and say, wow, I agree to that. Yes, you agree to that because you knew the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I know it is a little more difficult to trust when you are incarnate. When you are discarnate and you are looking at the overall plan, you can see how all the puzzle pieces fit together, and you can say yes to it, which is what you did. When you are in the midst of it, it is a bit like being lost in the forest, and you see many trees around you and are not quite sure which way is out of the forest. But you do trust that there is a way out to get through the forest, and you bless every tree along the way. It is a bit of a challenge to live in trust, but you bless every tree in the forest, and you know that you're going to come out of the other side of it. And when you look back at the forest, you're going to say how blessed that forest was, because you blessed every tree as you went through it. Allow yourself to practice living in fifth-dimensional perspective, the place of the heart, not the mental, that is separated ego, but the place of the heart that trusts, that knows peace even in the midst of chaos, that knows innocence and freedom from worry, knows that truly everything does work for the good as you judge good to be. Everything works for the realization of harmony and oneness. Live in that space. Allow it to be contagious. Even speak words to someone who may be doubting, and that they invite you to speak a word to them that may be a bit unconventional in the world's thinking. It is okay. You can shake them up a bit. They will either accept it or not. That is not your responsibility. But allow yourself to be at peace, because everything truly is working out in divine order to bring humankind back to the realization of the power of the one, holy, innocent child. And as I have said, when you see things that seem to be otherwise, call them good, because you have agreed to them as a wake-up call. That is okay. You can roll with them, and you can be okay because you have found your heart. Live from the heart. Allow the head, the mental, to serve the heart. Use fifth-dimensional peace and perspective to guide you and to keep you.